Okay, so I think the biggest thing you have to do when it comes to hiring the best writers for your agency, from an agency perspective, you tend to think that all you need to do is hire a writer. And what you're missing in those cases is you're missing an editor, proofreader, somebody to go through and make sure there's no spelling and grammatical issues. You also have to put a lot of effort on the front end because no writer is going to have the same experience that you do or that your clients do. So you've got to be able to get, information at the front end. I mean, some topics, some industries, some clients have so much information that's already out there that can be researched, and all of that's helpful. But it's still good to, think through that process at the beginning. Is there anything you can do to get additional subject matter expert SME input up front? Like, even if it's just some basic stuff that the writers can use to weave in and make better content. So sometimes it's not necessarily about finding the best writers. It's more about preparing the writer to do the best job. And that comes down to setting the expectations and being willing to put the effort into providing the information that they need. So like SME input can be anything from testimonials, not testimonials, but like stories from their own experiences that they've had with a client. Stories from, testimonials can be used too. Sometimes the writers can reverse engineer a testimonial into what customers have experienced leading up to an issue, and they can weave that into stories. Anything that you can provide. Record a quick Loom video. If you can't get your client to provide some additional details, then take what you know. You've worked with this client, you've learned their industry, you've put in that time and effort in. Simply taking a few minutes to record a quick video that's sharing your insider knowledge can go a long way towards prepping that for the writer. Here at Content Ninjas, we actually put several steps into place. We have a dedicated account strategist that works with every agency client of ours to know their agency, know their clients, know their stuff. That way they become our internal expert for information. They do things like recording a video to share that information with the writers. We put a researcher into place that can go gather SME, input, can go interview industry, experts if we can't get, about certain things. They can research the client's website and learn more that way. They can, just search the internet if it's a highly searchable topic, see what information they can find. So we put that researcher in place. We go through then and have the writer write it. At this point, they've been provided everything they need to produce high quality content. We have the editor go back behind them though and double check for spelling, grammar, issues like that, make sure the overall flow is good, that the brief has been followed. We have the content manager come back behind that. Content manager has extra training in things like StoryBrand, digital marketer, HubSpot, lots of other different, things so that they can spot, missed conversion opportunities, making sure that, everything's optimized correctly. And then the dedicated account strategist comes back and makes sure that it meets, everything. And I mean, we had to do all these individual steps because they're all needed if you want to turn out consistently high quality content. So, I mean, I think when it comes to hiring the best writer, I think a lot of times we put so much on the writer to come up with that, we set them up for failure. We set them up for not being able to deliver high quality content. We set them up for burnout. I mean, writers tend to be very creative people, or at least you want them to be. They don't necessarily have the research-based skill set. They don't necessarily have that insider industry knowledge. Even if they had some of that knowledge, that doesn't mean that they understand how it works for you or for your client. It just means that they have an idea in that industry or what their experience was like in that industry, and it might not match yours. So being able to put that extra effort in and think about the writer the right way and set them up for success is really the way to go. I know that sounds like a lot, but that's also why here at Content Ninjas, we do that for you. We plug in for every single article. We put all those roles into place to make sure that you don't have to hire 5 and 6 and 7 people just to get those results. You pay one flat fee per article, and and you get all of that happening on every single article, because that's what it takes. So I think the biggest takeaway here is it's not necessarily about hiring the best writer. It's about setting the writers up for success with repeatable and scalable processes. And that's how you're going to get the results you need. All of those steps have to happen. Some of them, yes, can happen inside of your own agency. You might be doing some of them yourself, depending on the size of your agency. But at the end of the day, they all need to happen. That's the only way that you're going to get the best writer giving you the best self to produce the best content. So there we go. Let me know if you have questions.